The initial concept actually started with the Chamber of Commerce, and there were some discussions about something that we needed to do within the community and finding what needed to be done. And it was determined that an education foundation would meet some of that need. The board came together at a meeting. We decided to start this. We reached in our own pockets to fund it, and then went to the school board. And the school board came forward with some seed money in the amount, if I remember correctly, of about $10,000 to get us going so we could launch this in a proper fashion. And that got us going back in 2000. Initially, we were just going to do scholarships, and then the discussions with the members of the board and other people in other foundations, it was determined that the best way to go would be to actually take a good percentage of our money and fund grants for teachers where we could affect a lot of children. We came up with a formula that 60% of the monies we raise go into the grants for teachers at this time, 40% of the money go to the students. Since that time, we've been fortunate enough to endow, I want to say 7 or 8 full scholarships, it's probably more than that, for the students, and then we have the endowments that take care of the teachers' grants, and all of that money that we raise goes into that fund. When we started the process with the grants, we had a difficult time getting teachers to apply for them, and whether that was we didn't get the information out or the application process was too complicated, I really don't know. But over the years we've developed that process. We now have teachers applying every year, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending how you want to look at it, we can't fulfill all the grant requests that come before us. The grants that are out there have, I think, done a remarkable job. The children have benefited from it. We have a lot of the kids who have been involved in some of the initial grants as well as the scholarships who are now back in the community. I think all in all, the goal that we had and what we wanted to do has been realized, and it continues to grow, and hopefully it will always continue to grow as we're able to add more and more money into these endowments and funds so that we can go ahead and do what we need to do in the community and help the community.
I was raised in a single-parent household. My mom is a teacher. Things were rough at times, you know, money's tight, and when I received that scholarship, it really helped because you don't think about all the other expenses and fees that are added on when you go to school. Think about tuition and room and board and books, but you just don't really think about everything else that you need to pay for. After graduating high school, I attended Stephen F. Austin State University for 3 years. I ended up coming back to the Lake Dallas-Denton area to go to TWU so I could student teach in this area. So with the education's scholarship, I was able to come back to this district and am now teaching at Corinth Elementary, 1st grade.
Upon graduating from Lake Dallas High School back in 2005, I was able to go to Texas A&M University and obtain a degree in construction science with a minor in business administration. But upon graduating from A&M, I came back up into the local area, and it's where I currently work in the construction industry. I really think the scholarship I received helped me not only monetarily, but also as more of a encouraging factor. The whole foundation believed in me enough to give me this scholarship so I can continue my education and earn a degree in a field that I am currently working in, and working locally right now, and hopefully I get to stay here for a long time.
We needed to have books that were on the 2nd grade level. We needed to have more books so that our kids weren't reading 1st grade level books. They weren't reading 3rd and 4th grade level books. They were more on target, so it wasn't too difficult for them. The need was having more of a variety so they weren't reading the same books over and over. I had one student come to me and she said that she didn't have anybody to read to. Both her parents were speaking Spanish. But I told her, well, you need to read to somebody. At first she started reading to her brother and her older brother, and then she was doing that for a while. And then after that, she came to me one day and she said that her mom wanted to start reading with her as well. and wanted to learn a little bit more about English and stuff like that. And next thing I know, weeks go by and months go by, and she's told me that she was reading on a constant basis with her mom, and that her mom was starting to enjoy these books as well. So we weren't just touching the lives of our students, but at the same time we were touching the lives of her family, and they were all able to benefit from those books.
We had a small amount of books, but for what we were hoping to accomplish, what we had was not sufficient. So we needed a library to expand. The pure love of getting the opportunity to read, we saw that. And we also we saw our children grow as readers, and when they were able to move to the next level, they had higher reading literacy skills when they moved to first grade. So we saw wonderful results with that. The books that we usually use, or sometimes, and I'll have to use my hands, they're usually really small, and they're perfect for little hands. And before I could even get them passed out, I had a student to immediately grab it and started opening and go through it. And he was just so excited because he was, I know these words. And just to see his face light up and to see the enjoyment of that, I mean, there's just nothing better.
When I was teaching the advanced computer classes, I realized at that point all industry was looking for certification at this point and skills. And so I thought, what better way than to go ahead and try and get the kids to understand the different competencies needed above and beyond just the basics, and then go ahead and test for the certification. In order to do that, they have to have basically book knowledge, they have to have testing knowledge, they have to be able to test under a timed limit. The tests also cost. So what the grant allowed was for us to purchase a set of tests for the very first time, and it was very, very successful. And the students did receive certification. And what it's good for is it is wonderful for their post-secondary, whether they decide to go on to four-year university, two-year university, go right into the workforce, or go into the military. It shows that they have some expertise. It started back in 2007. I still have the program today. I started out with approximately 14 students back then, and each year I have at least 40 students that test.
I applied for the scholarship from the Lake City's Education Foundation during my senior year of high school. I had decided that I really wanted to be a Horned Frog at TCU, and I wanted to go to the Schieffer School of Journalism. I started the application process, I guess, second semester of my senior year. I put that scholarship to use at TCU in my first semester there. Books and things were just so much more than I thought they would be. Everything was just outrageous. Since then, I've become an RA at TCU and found lots of ways to pay for things, but it's still just blows my mind, the cost of everything. I've gotten to work on the newspaper there and be a part of the yearbook staff there and join a social sorority and have all these experiences at TCU that I probably wouldn't have had at another university, and the scholarship is really what got me to be a Horned Frog.
I applied for the scholarship because my sister, she really inspired me to better myself. Once I got the scholarship, I used the funds to go to NCTC so I can get started on my associates, and I'm currently in my 5th semester and well on my way to becoming finished with my associates here in probably next fall. Once I get that done, I can take my EMT classes at NCTC. After that, go into the fire academy. It'll be my choice to come back to Lake City's area to become a firefighter. And after I get my license in investigation, hopefully become a fire marshal here in Lake Cities.
Foundations like the Lake City's Education Foundation and others like it are extremely important, especially in today's economy where it seems like it's harder and harder for kids to go to school. It's extremely important for people to donate their monies in ways such as this. And you know, in today's world, you see people spending their money in all kinds of frivolous ways that have no positive ends whatsoever. This isn't one of those. When we educate ourselves, our society gets better. That's the way it is. I don't know that your money could go to a much better cause because that betters me as a student, that betters the students, it betters our society.
It's a really huge honor to have somebody investing in my education and in my future.
With the aid of the Education Foundation Scholarship, I was able to come back to the district where I graduated from and am now teaching at Corinth Elementary.
I believe the Lake City's Education Foundation really helped me to achieve my goals by allowing me to go to college, earn my degree, and work in a field which is really specific and of my choosing, and I'm grateful for that opportunity.
The Lake City's Education Foundation has given us the resources that we need to be able to touch the lives of not only our students, but also the family members of our students as they read at home.
The Lake City's Education Foundation is making it possible for our students to better themselves and be more prepared for the workforce, for college, for military, for whatever they decide.
I want to be a firefighter or hopefully one day a fire marshal here in the Lake Cities area, and this scholarship has helped me achieve that goal.
We were able to take this library to LDE once we left LDP, and it has now even expanded even more. And so now it's impacting more lives. But that could not have been done without the initial support of the foundation.